Hey everybody, it's Ron from Ron's Basement. Thank you, and especially number one, you for joining me today. I've got news for you. Today's Fed Day, November 3rd, 2021. The price of gold is not going much lower from here, okay? That's my bold, non-conformist, non-uniform prediction, okay? You don't have to worry. In my opinion. And bear in mind, I don't have a crystal ball. Don't make any investment decisions based upon what I'm saying here. But I think gold is only going to go up from here, from this, let's say, 1750-ish range. Okay? I think that everybody knows the Fed's going to taper. Okay? Did you hear that? The Fed's going to taper. Yeah, we've been told that for the last 6 months. Everybody knows that it's mathematically impossible for the Fed, unless they have some magic that we don't know about yet, to raise interest rates down the road. It's impossible. It's mathematically impossible for it to work. Okay. So I think what we're going to have happen is the front runners, everybody's front runs what's going to happen, right? That's happened over the last year. Everybody was front running the fact that they knew the Fed was going to have to taper. Now, the front runners are going to start front running the front runners, knowing that, let's face it, the Fed's painted in a corner. And I'll stop on that whole subject there, because there's a multitude of other, probably slightly more knowledgeable people than me that can explain to you why the Fed is painted into the corner, but they're painted into the corner. Okay. So I think, contrary to the popular narrative right now, that gold could actually go up from here. I know, and everybody compares now to 2013. Well, I think that was more of a surprise taper announcement. I don't buy the fact that things are completely the same now as they were then. Okay, things are similar, no joke. I mean, we're still the United States, we still have the Fed, everything else, but things are much more extreme now. And the taper and the interest rate rising last time didn't work out so well, right? We know what happened then, but we also know that right now things are in a much more extreme situation. The level of national debt is much higher, the deficit is much higher. Just the whole geopolitical scene is much more complicated and different. I just think there's a lot of underlying factors that are going to support gold going forward. So in my opinion, things are different now. They're slightly the same, but they're also slightly different, or significantly different. If you look at like the factors that I talked about a few seconds ago. The other important factor, in my opinion, things are happening more faster. As things become more extreme, let's say out of balance in the financial, monetary policy, stock market, that whole big screwed up thing, when things become so much more out of balance and so much more manipulated by, stimulus and repo agreements and blah, blah, all this stuff, that things happen faster. Like when a ship sinks, generally, it takes a while for it. The initial stages are kind of slow as the water gets taken onto the ship, but at the end, boom, it happens fast. Things, and you've all heard that saying, I don't know, Hemingway or somebody said, how did you go bankrupt? Slowly and then all at once, right? So things are happening faster now as well. So I think, and I've made gold price predictions in the past that were mostly right. Back on August 12th, you can watch a video I made on August 12th where I predicted that the price of gold was bottomed at 1750, a very unpopular narrative at that point. And it did drop below that a couple days, right, over the last 3 months. But generally, I was right. And I think I'm right again. I think that from here, we're actually going to see a higher gold price going forward. A couple analogies. I guess the first analogy I'll have is the big bucket at the kids' water park. I think you've all seen those, right? The big giant bucket that gets filled with water from a hose. That's kind of like our economy, stock market, financial system, whatever you want to call it. There's a hose that fills the bucket gets full enough, and then it dumps, right? It has an event, it dumps. Well, that bucket is now being filled even more quickly. The water pressure's been turned up. The flow of water has been turned up on that hose that's filling that bucket. And that's what I mean by things are happening more fastly. Final analogy, this whole taper thing. We know the taper's coming. We've been told the taper's coming. Everybody knows the taper's coming, right? It's been telegraphed for the last 9 months, whatever. It's not like they are tightening monetary policy or they're taking away a sliver of stimulus. Okay, a sliver. They're talking about 15 billion out of 100. They're doing 120 billion a month now. They're going to take out 15 of the 120. That's 1/8. That's like if you have a kid, okay, and this would be a horrible situation to be in as a parent, but let's say you have a kid who drinks a case of beer a day, right? And if you don't go to the store and buy your kid that case of beer every day, he gets shaky and sick and crabby, and he's a full-blown alcoholic, right? But every day, to avoid it, because it's what the kid wants, you go and it's what the kid needs, you go buy the case of beer. Well, finally one day you're Jerome Powell and you say, you know what, I'm gonna start cutting him back on his beer. Okay? So you're gonna take away 1/8 of his beer. You're going to take away 3 of his beers. You're still giving him beer. 21 beers is still a lot of beer. And at first, he probably won't notice, but then the next month, you'll take away another 3. He'll be down to 21 beers. At some point, probably when he gets to around 15 or 12, or especially 9 beers, he's going to be throwing a tantrum. He's going to be like, this sucks. This is Dad, no, blah, 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 unless he wants to get better. And let's face it, the U.S., our politicians, the general U.S. economy doesn't want to get better, right? They want the stimulus. They want it. So, sorry, kind of went off on a little tangent, but I just don't think that America is suddenly going to want to take its hard medicine, which I wish we would, but I don't think that our politicians and the general American public wants to take the hard medicine that's needed to really, on a long-term basis, fix our economy and our monetary system. So, sorry, I'm Preacher Ron. I went off on a little tangent there, but this gold price, and it's down $20 this morning. Okay, this whole COMEX opened and crashed the gold price. I don't think it's going to go much lower. I don't. And I could be wrong, but I believe that we are on pretty solid ground. So I hope for those of us who invest in precious metals that I'm correct. I hope that you enjoyed my video. I appreciate all the comments, all the subscribers, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching.